but you can't relax, that's no good either. So the best combination is relaxation and concentration, because there is a lot of pressure, but you just have to learn to embrace it. I think that's the most important thing. I revert back to their childhood days. Do what you've always done. You've been a baseball player since you were this high. Just go out and play baseball. Have fun, enjoy it, but you got to be able to concentrate. You know, contrary to what a lot of people think, when you're a little kid playing baseball, a lot of people don't know it, but you're really concentrating. You know, you're competing, you're probably competing against yourself, but it's good to just revert back to your childhood. This is the moment that you waited for. You know, don't let it pass you by and miss it.
Jim Leyland getting his guys ready right now, and we'll leave you with this, Mick. His team has had winning streaks of 3 games or more 13 times this season. They need to find one of those streaks right now on a chilly Saturday evening downtown.
No question, John. Thank you very much. More with John Keating coming up after the game on Tigers Live. But Craig, you heard the skipper talked about his players needing to relax, concentrate, have some fun out there tonight. Yeah. You've been there. That's easier said than done, especially in this situation, isn't it?
It's going to be tough, Mickey. And obviously you're going to have the emotions, the excitement of being in this position. He talked about it earlier as being a child. This is what you dreamed about playing as you play baseball. You want to be in these moments. But you're going to have to let these moments bring out the best in you. You can't always think, oh, I'm in a pressure situation. Well, the pressure's going to be there. The fans are going to be crazy. You got the Giants across the dugout. They're ready here, and they want to win too. So you got to find a way to just say, you know what, let's relax. Let's take a deep breath, and let's just go out and play good, sound baseball like we've been doing all year.
And being home certainly helps in all those regards, but the Tigers will win tonight if they do what, in your estimation?
If Austin Jackson and Quentin Berry get on base and they cause some havoc and really cause some, when I mean havoc, I mean getting on base, stealing some bases, getting on so these big guys in the middle with Miggy and the Prince, they will have to pitch to them. And that's what I see them really, really doing their damage when those guys are getting on base. They play their best baseball when Quentin Berry and Austin Jackson got
4-1 in this postseason when they bat 1-2 in the lineup. Of course, we'll have fun and relax and concentrate here in the Coliseum studio as well, immediately following the game with the World Series postgame edition of Tigers Live. In the meantime, for those of you looking for the football game between Baylor and Iowa State, we'll join that game in progress for you next. Enjoy the baseball game, everybody. We'll see you back here as soon as it's over.
Well, Detroit's bats remain cold as Madison Bumgarner was bringing championship stuff.
This start couldn't be going any better for Madison Bumgarner.
The game was gritty, and there were plenty of bumps and bruises to go around, and a few close calls that went the Giants' way.
In time, they got him. Yeah, he got the right down.
The Giants continue to make their breaks.
Capitalizing on those opportunities, San Fran takes a 2-0 lead into tonight's contest. But the Tigers aren't fazed as they look to the home crowd for the energy to tighten up the series. Motown is going to be rocking tonight as Game 3 of the World Series starts now.
When I'm mobile. And inside Comerica Park, where since opening for the 2000 season, the Detroit Tigers have the best postseason home record in baseball. Some of that home magic that they'll try to harness tonight on a chilly evening for baseball indeed. 47 degrees around game time. Temperature expected to be in the high 30s perhaps by game's end. We are brilliantly situated right at the head of the wind tunnel, the absolute coldest spot in Comerica Park out here in right field. Welcome inside with A.J. Pierzynski, Eric Karros, Harold Reynolds, Matt Vasgersian. Yes, the Tigers are down 0-2. What are we looking for tonight?
Well, the big thing with the Giants, they've been able to execute, and that's been the whole thing for me. They've handled the ball, they've done well, but the Tigers, this is a must-win situation. Usually you just think it's game 5. It's right now game 3.
Well, it really is. And the Tigers, they get to see a right-handed starting pitcher. They face 2 left-handers in San Francisco. Since September 5th, there have been 9 right-handed starters that have faced the Tigers. Tigers are 8-1.
I don't care if he's right-handed, left-handed, throws both hands. It's too cold out here to want to hit. I know as a player right now, I don't want to be up there hitting, and I know Vogelsong and Sanchez have both pitched great in the postseason. Sanchez has great numbers against the Giants, but as a hitter right now, every chance you get, you're blowing on your hands, you're trying to stay warm anyhow.
Listen, and I think we'd all agree that one of the keys for the Tigers moving forward is to get their vaunted 3-4 batting order combination heated up. Ken Rosenthal is with the number 4 part of that combination, Prince Fielder.
Thanks, Matt. Prince, 1996. You're 12 years old. You're father Cecil's team, the Yankees, gets down 2-0 against the Braves in the World Series, then comes back to win 4 straight. What do you remember about that?
They were having a lot of fun, and actually they started 0-2 as well. And they came. I think they went back to Atlanta and won the 3 there, and then won the first game back in New York. Really, it was really awesome just because they were down 0-2 and had to come back against a good team like that.
How much inspiration do you draw from something like that?
I guess a little bit, but it's we're just trying to, I draw motivation from my 2 boys telling me every day, come on, Dad, let's get it done, and teammates, everybody here is still upbeat, and try to get it done.
Last thing, Ryan Vogelsong. What do you know about him? What have you done to prepare for him?
I know a little bit about him. Faced him a couple times, I think, and he's definitely gonna hit his spots. It's a World Series. They all seem to do that right now. So, you just got to try to be patient and wait for a mistake. And if he doesn't throw it, try to have a good at bat and just battle out there.
Prince, thanks.
Yeah, man.
Matt, back to you.
Ken, thank you. You have to believe, guys, that Prince Fielder is primed to break out, batting under 200 in his postseason career. And Harold, on Tuesday's Game 2. He was involved when Thursday's Game 2. I forget the count of the days. Game 2. He was involved in what has been the signature play of the series so far.
No doubt. And it's going to be one of those plays you remember forever, like Carlton Fisk with the home runs. But to me, whether Gene Lamont should have sent him or not, that's to be debated. But it was the execution of the Giants, I think, that we're missing on this play. What's the double cut relay? What is that? That means the second baseman becomes a trail man in case the outfielder overthrows the first guy, in this case being the shortstop. So right here, you overthrow Crawford, no problem. If the ball's going to bounce or go over his head, Crawford's to let that ball go. He starts to jump, he lets the ball go. Scutaro is in perfect distance behind him where he's going to get this throw in the air. And then what I mean by the execution part, outside of Scutaro catching the ball, Buster Posey wants to throw inside because they're going to sweep tag every time. So what do? They practice throwing the ball inside. He's not going to block the plate, particularly with Prince. I don't even know if AJ would have taken on Prince in that play. But I love the fact that the Giants, Eric, they executed. And that's a big difference, that they've caught the ball, they've made the plays when they need to, and they're capitalizing on their breaks, and that's why it's 2-0 Giants.
Well, they did execute, but the bottom line, if we're talking Prince Fielder, we shouldn't be talking about base running, right? We've got to talk about hitting, and that's been the problem. The 2 guys in the middle of this lineup so far, Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera, you look at that, 2 home runs and 85 postseason at-bats in this series so far. Between the 2 of them, only 2 singles. They've got to get more production from those 2 if they're going to extend this series.
Well, the guy for the Giants tonight, neither one has had any success. They're 1 for 8 combined. The guy they need to get hot and get guys on base tonight is Omar Infante, his own Vogelsong. But Anibal Sanchez has been great against the Giants in his career. 3-1, under a 2 ERA. It's going to be a great pitching matchup. I can't wait to watch these guys try to make adjustments and continue to dominate these lineups the way they have.
One thing is certain, both teams in the Tigers, even being down 0-2, they are loose, getting ready for Game 3. Hey, an old postseason hero, Maglio Ordonez, showed up for a visit. Omar Infante, big numbers against Ryan Vogelsong. Pandas like the cold weather, don't they? That guy sure does, and that guy's had a big series and having fun, too. Time for a quick break, but coming up next, his big RBI in Game 2, just one of a number of reasons why Hunter Pence is having so much fun as a Giant. Next.
Batting fourth, the catcher, Buster Posey. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Hunter Pence. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Brandon Belt. Batting seventh, the left fielder, Gregor Blanco. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, Hector Sanchez. Batting ninth, the shortstop, Brandon Crawford. Starting on the mound tonight for the Giants, in the bullpen, Ryan Vogelsong. Let's put the pedal to the metal and make some noise for the starting lineup of your American League champion Detroit Tigers. First, the Tigers manager, Jim Leyland. Leading off, the center fielder, Austin Jackson. Batting second, the left fielder, Quinton Berry. Batting third, the third baseman, Miguel Cabrera. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Prince Fielder. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Delman Young. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Andy Dirks. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Johnny Peralta. Batting eighth, the catcher, Alex Avila. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Omar Infante. And starting on the mound tonight for your Tigers in the bullpen, Anibal Sanchez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you all please rise? Gentlemen, please remove your caps. Active military and veterans may keep your caps on while rendering the military salute.
And now welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Tim McCarver is coming right up. Okay, here tonight, the Giants start play 2 games up on the Tigers in this World Series. They took care of business at home, and now the Tigers are in their stadium, where during the regular season they tied for the second most wins across baseball. They're undefeated so far here at home during the postseason, and they've been hitting much better all year against right-handed pitching. In fact, over 20 points higher against right-handers after losing to 2 lefties in San Francisco. That's the good news. The bad news is, Tim McCarver, the right-hander that the Tigers have to face tonight is Ryan Vogelsong, and so far in this postseason he has been fantastic.
Ryan Vogelsong has been the hottest pitcher in the postseason. 3 games, only 3 earned runs allowed. How has he done it? Against the St. Louis Cardinals right-handed hitters, he wore them out inside. I mean, one after the other. Fastballs. And they became so aware of the fastball inside, they started taking pitches that they would normally hit. Pinpoint accuracy and frightening efficiency.
And he's taking on Anibal Sanchez, the right-hander who was picked up in season by Detroit. The Tigers are going to ask him for the best game he's ever pitched at the big league level. We're so glad you're with us as the Tigers tonight try to stay undefeated here at home during the postseason.
It's baseball in October.
This is the World Series. This is what you dream about as a kid.
27 outs, nada más.
Win any way you can.
One moment can last a lifetime.
You never know who the hero will be.
It's baseball in October. This is the best time of the year. It's all about winning.
And we wait for the Tigers to take the field, and why not give you the San Francisco starting lineup, brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you've got to live Moss. Angel Pagan leads off in center. Marco Scutaro bats second. Pablo Sandoval hits third. Buster Posey cleans up. Hunter Pence in right. Brandon Belt at first.
Gregor Blanco in left. The DH is Hector Sanchez. He's our backup catcher as well, and that's a bit of a gamble for Bruce Bochy that he talked about before the game. And Brandon Crawford pitching, or rather playing short and batting ninth. And here's the guy pitching, Tim, Anibal Sanchez, and it has been an interesting year for him, not just the trade, but then turning things around when he came here to Detroit.
He is a free agent after this year, and a good performance tonight would be very important to him. Sneaky fast. He's faster when you step into the box than he appears when you look at him from the side. His change is better than it's ever been. 2 good changeups from Sanchez, and obviously the biggest game of his life.
The opening pitch will be brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And when you watch Anibal Sanchez, he turns his back almost to the hitter, hides the baseball well, and then, as you said, he can be sneaky. And this guy, who won 4 games as a Tiger, had an ERA of 3.74 in 12 starts, is trying to get the Tigers on the board in this series. The Tigers defensive lineup is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods, and there are no surprises out there for those who watch the Tigers on a regular basis. It's Quentin Berry in left, Austin Jackson in center with a right-hander on the mound. Andy Dirks is in right. Then it's Miguel Cabrera, Peralta, Infante Fielder. The catcher is Avila, and then Sanchez in the middle. And these Giants have been loose pretty much since Game 3 of the division series, and they have made this their pregame ritual. And Pence is always in the middle of it.
Buster Posey saying that had Hunter Pence not had the fervor that he has had, they may not be in the World Series.
He had an RBI in Game 2, so he chipped in with his bat. And Angel Pagan, who in this World Series has 2 hits and 7 trips. He had some good at-bats against Verlander 3 nights ago. He is set to lead it off. Glad you're with us. Game 3. Strike 1. And they'll take that baseball out of play. Giants so far this postseason 4-2 on the road. Here's a ground ball to Fielder. Easy to the bag, 1 out. Umpires have really had a good series already, and behind the plate, Field and Culbreth, joined by Brian Onorta at first, Brian Gorman at second, Joe West, the veteran at third, Jerry Davis at left. He's the crew chief, Dan Iasonia, who worked the plate and made that good call on Fielder at the plate on the relay early in Game 2. He's in right. Marco Scutaro with a salute out to the Venezuelan right-hander Anibal Sanchez. And with 1 out, nobody on, that's the ball outside.
9 Venezuelan players on both teams, 5 for the Giants, 1/5 of their roster. Marco Scutaro, one of them.
That's a strike from Sanchez. 3rd start this postseason. 1-1 record, but he's pitched very well in both games. A loser in Game 3 of the division series at Oakland, 2-0. As the count goes to 2-1, and then he beat the Yankees in Game 2 in New York when he threw 7 shutout innings, allowed only 3 hits. Here is his 2-1. 2-2.
Joe, you talked about how Sanchez turns his back to the hitter to hide the ball well. That's one of the reasons that he's sneaky fast. Players can't pick it up. Does not appear to be fast on the side, but when you get to the plate, he is, and that's when it counts, of course.
Here's the 2-2. How about the greeting between these two before this first at bat? Sanchez stuck his tongue out at Scutaro, and Marco said, "Thank you. Now I'm going to try and get a base hit and get something started." 2 Venezuelan-born players. Scutaro the MVP of the NLCS, the 2-2. That is just outside the full count. Sandoval will be next. The 3-2 pitch, breaking ball grounded to short. Peralta just did get the out. 2 gone. And while we talk about the country, let's give you an idea of where exactly all these players are from. 5 on the 25-man roster for San Francisco. And with 2 out, nobody on, the batter will be Pablo Sandoval. He was on that list. And he will try and add to what is already a great start to his 2012 World Series. 5 out of 7.
Nobody on either side is hitting with the confidence of Sandoval.
Good breaking ball from Sanchez. Strike 1.
Everything's working in the early going for Sanchez.
Here's the 0-1. Leans back from a 94-mile-per-hour pitch. Pretty good tail to it, too. Nice movement. 1 ball, 1 strike. Overall this postseason, Sandoval hitting .368. And he's trying to dump one into center field. That is in for a base hit. So Sandoval is now 6 of 8 in this World Series.
Pretty good theory about hitting. Drive them back and drop it in front of them. 3 home runs in game 1. First at bat tonight, a little dunker in front of Jackson.
And the inning will continue for Buster Posey. We talked to Sandoval before the game, a guy who, and you talked about it with him when we sat down, is naturally left-handed.
Learned how to throw right-handed when he was 9 years old.
Strike 1 on Posey.
In 2010, Pablo Sandoval was standing at home plate at AT&T Park in San Francisco. He threw a ball over the right field fence, left-handed, and he's a right-handed thrower from third.
Here's the 0-1. Popped up, foul back and out of play. Strike 2. So it's remarkable the kind of athlete Sandoval is. Talk to him about the cold weather, and he said, I've been cold all year playing in San Francisco. This is no big deal. Still got 3/4 sleeves on as he takes his lead at first. Count 0-2 on Buster Posey.
Posey goes to right with 2 strikes.
Fastball misses upstairs.
That's a way to combat that. A guy who is very adept at going the other way. Pitch him inside with 2 strikes. That's the best time to throw inside.
He has hit in all 7 World Series games. He's experienced. And he strikes out to end the top of the first. Tigers coming up, bottom of the first inning, hoping. They're 2 big bats, and they are big bats. Cabrera and Fielder can get hot. No score. Johnny Peralta, the shortstop. Alex Avila, the catcher. And Omar Infante is at second base, batting in the number 9 spot against this right-hander. And the numbers are stunning this postseason for this guy who has been all over the place in his pitching career.
Started in San Francisco, back with San Francisco. Forget the radar gun. Look at the movement in and out with the fastball. And he has been stingy with runs in the postseason.
First up, Austin Jackson. 2 hits in this series, and he takes a strike. And there's been a lot of that. A lot of first pitch strikes from Ryan Vogelsong, who got a no decision in game 3 of the division series, but then beat the Cardinals twice in game 2 and in game 6, both in San Francisco. Skips in, ball 1.
Talking about first strikes, Vogelsong with a lot of those. The Tigers need first men on bases. They played 18 innings. They've had the leadoff batter on 5 of those innings. Austin Jackson still a key.
Here is a 1-1 from Vogelsong. Good pitch in on the hands, and that's exactly the type pitch and the result you showed in the open.
Or just absolute perfection on that pitch. All during the postseason. Little tailing fastball. It's not thrown that hard, but his control is impeccable.
So the 35-year-old right-hander has Jackson set up at 1-2. And he deals outside 2-2. Bruce Bochy, Dave Righetti. They're not surprised. They're pleased, not surprised, that Vogelsong has been able to do this in the postseason. He deals inside, and that play is made by Scudero. Jackson just fought it off and grounds out. The Giants defensive lineup brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. It's Blanco in left, Pagan in center, Hunter Pence in right, Sandoval, Crawford, Scudero, Belt, Posey, and Vogelsong. The only addition now in the AL park is the DH, and that's Hector Sanchez. He bats 8th. Every season starts at Dick's. With 1 out, nobody on, here is Quentin Berry. Got called up in late May. Really made a big difference when they added him to the major league roster with his 5th organization over the last 2 years, and he takes the ball. He can run. When he gets on, he steals. 21 of 21 during the regular season. 2 for 2 this postseason. Strike, and it's 1-1.
Jim Leyland has a very interesting lineup tonight. He starts with the right-handed batter, and they alternate every spot throughout the lineup. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Tough to manage against that team with your bullpen when a team does that.
That's inside, and the count 2-1. That started in 2006. 12-3 record here for the Tigers. These fans have seen good baseball. And a 2-1 pitch. Shows bunt, bunts it foul. Trying to check on Sandoval over at third, and the count 2-2. On deck is Cabrera. Asked Sandoval before the game how he's feeling, and he said, "I'm sore." He said, "What about taking the day and just DHing?" Now he wants to be out there defensively. And Berry just stays alive. Sandoval's played a really good third base. He's got a good arm. And he carried this team through game 1. He's been so good hitting behind Scudero out of that number 3 spot. And he is good at that, blowing bubbles over at third base. He can work over a piece of gum. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Vogelsong. Berry laid off, full count.
How strange is that? A 3-2 count from Vogelsong. You haven't seen too many this postseason.
On a cold night, this crowd tries to jump in it. The 3-2. Inside for a 1-out walk. No doubt the Tigers need to get their big bats going. They're the numbers during the regular season. A Triple Crown winner on the left. But this postseason, combined 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, and while Cabrera's average is respectable. The guy behind him, Prince Fielder's hitting only .205. The MVP chant for Cabrera as he digs his way in.
The dynamic duo 1 for 7 with runners on base in the 2 games thus far played.
Strike 1. Bury the runner at first. We said 23 of 23 regular and postseason trying to steal a base.
Posey with the great arm behind the plate. I think if you're Barry, you want to wait for the left-hander to get up there. It's a lot tougher for catchers to throw with left-handed hitters at the plate. They don't see as well.
Strike 2 and a good fastball and a perfect spot from Vogelsong. Great life to that fastball all October. Barry takes his lead with 1 out. The 0-2. Posey tried to frame it. It's outside, ball 1.
So he's thrown Cabrera a curveball, fastball, and this changeup just missed outside.
Check on the runner, Barry.
With 2 strikes, Cabrera tries to hit the ball to right field. Also, we talked about Buster Posey. Cabrera's power is from line to line.
And for whatever reason, his power is against right-handed pitching.
Yeah, 40 of 44 home runs this year off of right-handers. Extraordinary.
Here's a 1-2. Foul back. But in on the hands in a good spot from Vogelsong. That includes the postseason. So add 1 against the lefty. He got Sabathia in game 4 of the ALCS. The eyes of Quentin Barry trying to find the right time to go. The 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
Good play, Posey. Since that injury last May 25th, it's amazing that Buster Posey still has flexibility and the ability to move right to left, which is so important for a man in his position. Good play.
There is plenty of room behind the plate if a ball gets away. Seems like seats have gotten closer and closer to home plate over the years, but there's some space back there for the ball to bounce around. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Left side, base hit. And it's 2 on with 1 out here in the first inning for the Tigers.
Triple Crown winner. When you get ahead of him, it's not like getting ahead of most batters. Curveball for a strike. Fastball swings through. Now it's 0-2. You think you got him? 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good play by Posey. Base hit to left. What a hitter.
And it sets it up for Prince Fielder. Prince is a career 198 hitter during the postseason. But he does have 5 career postseason home runs. 1 for 6 in this series. He takes ball 1. We talked about the combination, in particular Fielder 0 for 4 with runners on. Year 1 of a 9-year $214 million deal. for spots just like this. The 1-0 popped up left side. Sandoval will watch it go into the dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike. Prince trying to cash in on this first inning chance. The 1-1 inside, 2-1.
Rough inning for Vogelsong, even though the Tigers have not scored a run. He walks Quentin Berry, and after 0-2 to Cabrera, he singles to left field, and now it's a ball and 2 strikes. Make that two balls and 1 strike to Fielder. He's ahead in the count.
The next might be 2. Scudero, Crawford, and got him at first. Brilliantly turned by Scudero, and then a great dig out of the dirt by Brandon Belt. The wide throw and the scoop by Belt. No score after 1.
Need that play. He
Umpire.
can't. The umpire, I beg your pardon. The umpire can't see that play and can't see whether the foot's on the bag or not. So
it's a double play. Instead of the inning continuing with Belt's foot off the bag, and Anibal Sanchez deals inside for ball 1 to Hunter Pence. It'll be Pence, then Belt, and Gregor Blanco, if anybody gets on, switch hitting catcher DH Hector Sanchez. That is high and tight from Sanchez. It's 2-0. So far, Pence 1 for 7 in this World Series, hitting just 182 during the postseason, and that's a breaking ball on 2-0, and the count's 3-0.
none of the 3 pitches resembles any of the pitches that Sanchez threw in the first inning.
And 4 in a row out of the strike zone to put the leadoff man on for the Giants here in the second. There was a decision to be made, and obviously with the layoff, 5 days off, Jim Leyland could have gone any way he wanted with his rotation. Obviously you start with Verlander and Pfister. Then you have Max Scherzer, who will get the ball tomorrow night, who had a tremendous year. Power pitching right-hander. There's a strike to Belt, who was number 2. There's Max in the AL in strikeouts to his teammate Justin Verlander. He's right next to him. Scherzer's been dealing with a sore shoulder, and that was the main reason why it lined up this way for Jim Leyland. A ball and a strike. We talked to Scherzer before the game, and we intend to talk to Max the 4th inning of tonight's game, and he said his shoulder is fine.
No pain whatsoever.
What will this series be when he gets the ball tomorrow night? There's strike 2 on Brandon Belt, who so far this postseason is hitless with 9 strikeouts on the road.
Good pitch in on the hands from Sanchez.
Anibal is set, and that's outside. 2-2. There are the numbers on the road in the 5 games. This is number 6. The 2-2 runner goes. Strike 3. Throw down. Not in time. A stolen base for Pence. His first of this World Series, second of the postseason, as Belt struck out at the plate.
That is a tough pitch to handle for Alex Avila. He had to wait back to get the strike call, and that momentary lapse right there allowed him to come out of there, but his throw to second base was late. What pitch it is that a catcher has to handle often determines whether a runner is out or safe at second base.
Now it's Gregor Blanco, the number 7 hitter, with a runner at second, 1 out. And a good fastball from Sanchez, strike 1. Blanco has not hit well on the road. They're the overall numbers this postseason. 4 RBIs, but since July 19th, he's hitting 163. Away from AT&T Park. Here's the 0-1. Down and in, a ball and a strike. Blanco now. The DH Sanchez on deck. Here's a 1-1. That gets away. Could be a pass ball on Avila. And that sends Pence over to third with 1 out.
Fastball up and away. It'll probably be a pass ball, but you can see it's understandable. Alex Avila setting up inside. The pitch was up and away. If they gave a wild pitch on that, I think you can understand that.
Yeah, I think that could go either way, and they've officially scored at a wild pitch. And now the infield has to come in with a 2-ball 1-strike count on Blanco. Gregor trying to give the Giants a second inning lead here in game number 3. And the count 3-1. Infield is in. 3-1 pitch. Full count. It has been so important for each side to score first so far this postseason. And when they've done it, the Giants are 8-1. The Tigers are 5-1.
Those are revealing numbers right there.
The opportunity here for San Francisco. Runner at third, 1 out. 3-2. Just got a piece. So Blanco, who drove home 34 runs during the regular season, for this postseason, is trying to give his club the early lead. Time called as Blanco backs out of there.
I think Miguel Cabrera is talking to home plate umpire Fielding Culbras, saying that was a little late, was it not? And suggested maybe to Sanchez, instead of winding up, go from the stretch.
Here is a 3-2. And a fly ball deep into right center field. Giants will lead as this ball hits the base of the wall, and Blanco is all the way around second and standing at third with an RBI triple as the Giants strike first in game 3. That is a big outfield, and Gregor Blanco just hit it to one of the deepest parts of this park.
You know, that's an interesting pitch because it's a breaking ball, and normally pitchers are not as effective throwing the breaking ball from the stretch. And it was caused by Blanco calling timeout, and instead of winding up, Sanchez switched to a stretch, and the breaking ball hung in there, and the Giants are on top.
Now the infield is in again with Blanco, who can just fly. I mean, there were no misplays in the outfield, and he was standing at third when the cutoff man was about to get the ball.
He can scoot, huh?
Runner at third, 1 out. And it would take perfection, even on a ground ball, to one of these drawn-in infielders to get him at the plate. It's Sanchez up. He checked his swing, and the count 1-1. Hector getting the start. He's so far 1 for 7 in the postseason. He made a start behind the plate during the NLCS in game 4. He's in the hole now, 1-2.
I beg your pardon. When timeout was called, he was from the stretch. So he threw that breaking ball to Blanco. And most pitchers, the reason they work from the windup with a runner on at second base or at third base and less than 2 outs is to get more on the curveball.
That almost got away again from Avila. Sanchez missed by a mile.
Good play by Avila to come up with this one. That ball hit the side of the mitt. Kind of haphazardly went in the pocket.
So Sanchez with the RBI chance. Runner at third, 1 out. Infield is in, and the count 2-2. That is foul down the right field line. Manager Bruce Bochy, who is trying to manage his Giants to a second World Championship in the last 3 years, had his choice for DH. He could have gone with Aubrey Huff, but he likes the way Sanchez has been swinging the bat. And he strikes out looking to gone. Didn't swing it there, and that's strikeout number 3 and a big one for Sanchez.
A good tailing fastball on the inside corner and a big strikeout for Sanchez.
And now with a runner at third, 2 out, the batter will be Brandon Crawford. 6 RBIs, and he's been much better swinging the bat away from San Francisco this postseason. Blanco at third, 2 out, ball 1 low. So far, just a 175 average this postseason for Crawford. 313 on the road. That is out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Think about the bottom of the first inning. The Tigers down 2-0, had what they wanted, 2 on, 1 out. Their big bat, Prince Fielder, at the plate. The defense for the Giants has been so good all postseason, and this guy's been a part of it. He helped turn the double play to end the inning and the threat. Here comes a 1-1 pitch into center field. That ball is down for a base hit and gets behind Jackson. In to score is Blanco, digging for third, and now stopping is Crawford with an RBI. It's 2-0. And a big 2-out RBI hit by Brandon Crawford. Blanco scores to double the lead.
We'll see how that's going to be scored. A single and an error, or a double. Jackson coming in. By the time he gets to the ball, he's too close to it to block it. It scoots by him. And I believe it's a single error, right?
That's right. RBI single, E8. Austin Jackson made 1 error during the regular season, and now he's got his first of the postseason. That allowed Crawford to get into scoring position with 2 out, and the batter is Pagan. Sanchez. This is outside ball 1, and you said it, 3 pitches into this inning. Anibal Sanchez looks like a different pitcher than he did in the first.
Everything was smooth. The delivery was smooth. His first 4 pitches of this inning, a 4-pitch walk to Hunter Pence, and usually that spells trouble for anybody.
Wild pitch in the inning. Base hit by the number 9 hitter and an RBI. A big one for the Giants as Pagan takes a strike. And it's 1-1. Angel grounded out to first his first time up. 2 for 8 in this World Series and still looking for his first RBI. Here's a 1-1. Not close. 2-1. Sanchez has missed in this inning. He has missed. Crowd has been completely taken out of it. Here in the second, they're going to need something to get him back in it. Pagan takes strike 2. And it's 2-2. So pitch number 30 of this second inning. On its way from Sanchez. A check swing. He didn't go, and the count full as Avila blocked it.
Looks like two different pitchers out there from the first inning to the second inning. Pagan held up.
So a runner at second, 2 out. A full count with Scutaro next. Here is a 3-2 pitch. Ground ball to Fielder. He'll go to the bag. The inning is over, but the Giants strike first in game 3, up 2 games to nothing. A stolen base in the frame. A wild pitch. Blanco drove one in and scored one. 2-0 in game 3. And while you still have to face good pitching, as Rick Porcello's getting loose, so who knows, maybe there's something physically not right with Anibal Sanchez.
Perhaps.
You've got Vogelsong if you're the Giants, and Matt Cain going tomorrow night. Young hits it in the air to center. On this cold night, it won't carry to the track. Out number 1. Anibal Sanchez right after that inning went right down through the dugout underneath, then talked with Jeff Jones, his pitching coach, as Andy Dirks walks in. So maybe there's physically something not right, because we said it 3 times that something looked like it changed after that first inning.
Totally out of sync with Sanchez in that second inning, and now Jeff Jones calling to the bullpen.
So with 1 out, nobody on, here's Dirks. The ball outside. This was a better Tigers team record-wise during the season when Dirks was in the lineup, as he fouls it for strike 1. When Andy was in there as a starter, this Tigers team was 53-35 without him. They were under 500. That was before the majority of it. Avisail Garcia was added at the end of August. They've split time out in right depending on if a left-hander or right-hander starting for the opposition during this postseason. That's strike 2. Vogelsong proves there he can come in on the hands of a lefty like he has so many right-handers this postseason. One out, nobody on. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And outside, 2-2. Dirks averaged .322. He didn't have enough at bats to qualify for the batting race. But he can hit. And he waits for a 2-2 from Vogelsong. Fouled away. If you ask Jim Leyland, the manager of the Tigers, about Dirks, give a description, he just makes it about as simple as he can. He's just a baseball player.
And short to the ball, which means everybody triggers their swing, which means that Dirks doesn't take his hands back as far as most hitters.
He takes outside, trying to put together a good at bat here. His first start of this World Series, and the count's full.
That's why Dirks is such a good 2-strike hitter. Short to the ball.
Vogelsong on 3-2. Another foul by Andy Dirks. On deck is Johnny Peralta, who's homered in this series. He hit a home run in game 1. He's got 3 this postseason. With 1 out, nobody on. 3-2 pitch is popped up. Shallow right. Coming to get it is Pence. 2 out, so Vogelsong is through the first 2 hitters after his team got him a lead. And for more on Ryan, let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Joe, Ryan Vogelsong has had such a long, improbable journey to this moment. I asked his wife, Nicole, if she would be willing to be interviewed during tonight's game. And she politely declined. She said she could not possibly imagine the range of emotions that she would be experiencing. She said this would rank with the happiest days of her life, including her wedding day to Ryan and, of course, the births of their 2 children. And when I asked her, hey, what about that pregame meal he always has, those chicken enchiladas, she said no problem. She had already picked some up at a restaurant near the team hotel.
Yeah, and thanks, Ken. We talked about it the other night when we visited with Ryan during the All-Star game last year. He really credited his wife with helping to support him while he chased this baseball dream to Japan, all these different stops. And now after re-signing with the organization that originally drafted him in the 5th round. That happened back in '98. He's come all the way back around and is a star in the postseason here in 2012. That's up and away, and the count 1-2 on Peralta. But it has been a story of perseverance for Ryan Vogelsong. 2 different teams in Japan, 3 years over there. One organization after the next, and he wanted to come back to where it all started. Boy, the Giants glad he did. Here's a 1-2. Fly ball into right center field. To his left is Pagan, and the inning is over. We go to the 3rd inning, game number 3 in Detroit. Giants will bat up 2-0. Angel Pagan, it means everyone in America gets 1 free Doritos Locos taco at Taco Bell on Tuesday, October 30th between 2 and 6 p.m. as Sandoval fouls it back. Chris Myers is with us. We're going to hear from Chris in just a second regarding that. And then Chris will go to work tomorrow in the afternoon when the Detroit Lions host the Seattle Seahawks. The NFL on Fox. Here's a 2-2. That is to Fielder, and the easy play for out number 2. And here is the very busy Chris Myers.
Well, Joe, you talked about the stolen base from Angel Pagan and how everyone gets a free taco. I'm with Brian Nickel, who is the, we'll call him the head nacho, can I call you the big burrito? Is that...
Actually, I'd like to go with top taco.
Top taco. All right, I'll do the jokes. You help with the promotion. We're trying to make this seem like it's not a commercial, but we thank you because, again, if you could tell all the millions watching where and when they can get the free taco.
So you can get the new Doritos Locos taco on Tuesday, October 30th from 2 to 6 p.m. So
how many do you think you'll actually give away?
Well, you know, we've sold about 250 million so far, so we'll probably do a couple million.
Now, are you a hot or mild sauce guy? Kind of like these teams. One's hot, one's mild.
I actually go fire. Okay. Fire.
The hottest. And I did want to ask you about, since you're giving away millions, to get something for nothing is great. This, I hope, isn't coming out of your pocket personally, Brian.
Not my pocket personally, so I'm still going to make it through Tuesday.
Well, I speak on behalf of all Americans. Thank you for being a good sport and for the free taco. And here's one for you on us.
Oh, wow.
All I had was a little mild sauce.
All right.
All right. Enjoy the World Series. Joe, Tim.
Chris, ask him about his high school years. Why'd you leave that out? Here's a pitch up and in, 3-0 the count. 2 out, nobody on. Posey struck out his first time. And with a count 3-0, Anibal Sanchez. Posey swinging on 3-0. He pops it up. Prince Fielder is there, and that'll send us into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Only Chris. He is a beauty. 2-0 Giants. Tigers coming up, trying to get hot. Top, Austin Jackson. 2-0 Giants behind Ryan Vogelsong. This Tiger team needs something to happen quickly. Vogelsong trying to settle in. At a 1-2-3 second and drills the outside corner with strike one.
Just thinking about what Jim Leyland told us the other day, he has been preaching and preaching and preaching to Alex Avila. Swing the bat early in the count. Don't go up there and have the count be 0-2 and 1-2. Swing early.
He took a strike and now takes one just outside, 1-1. I do think the stat, and I guess there's stats connected with teams who are coming out of an LCS sweep in the World Series with that layoff. It's worth getting into. And Jim Leyland, who, as we said, doesn't want to make excuses, did feel like starting with game one, a team that didn't trail in the ALCS and just ran right through the Yankees, looked like they were sluggish, off, flat after the 5 days of sitting around. And he said, yeah, we played inter-squad games, but that's nothing like playing a postseason game. That is upstairs, the count 2-2. The Tigers came into tonight hitting 167 in this World Series after the 5-day layoff.
And Jim said he was more worried about the pitchers than he was the hitters.
Here comes a 2-2 from Vogelsong. Avila leading off, strikes out. Hung on to by Posey, one away.
So Alex Avila caught in between. He takes the first pitch for a strike, swings at strike 3 that's out of the strike zone. That's the way it's been lately for the young Detroit catcher.
The 3 previous LCS sweeping teams, which are the 88 A's, these Tigers in 06, and the Rockies in 2007, have combined to hit 197 in the World Series and won just 2 games. Tigers got 1 win against the Cardinals. That was a 5-game series. It was a 4-game sweep by the Red Sox over the Colorado Rockies. Here is a line drive that is fouled down the left field line. 1 ball, 1 strike. And teams to sweep the LCS World Series results, and within those results, the numbers aren't good. Averaging under 2.5 runs per game.
What would further validate that point is that when players play 90 games or so, 80 to 90 games before the All-Star break.
Here is a base hit into center by Infante. And he's on with 1 out here in the 3rd.
He hits Vogelsong well. He's now 5 for 8 lifetime against Ryan. But when players take 3 days off of the All-Star game, they come back and they're sluggish. I know for a fact you take those 3 days off after playing almost every day for your first 3.5 months, and you feel it. And it takes you a few days to get into sync. So there might indeed be something to that.
Here's Austin Jackson, 0 for 1 tonight. Was jammed his first time up and grounded out to second. Runner at first, 1 out, 2-0 game. And a strike hits the outside part to Jackson from Vogelsong. Austin 2 out of 8 in this World Series. Started the night hitting .295 in this postseason compared to .195 last year. Done a lot of work, and it paid off with a .300 average. He also popped 16 home runs. Good tailing pitch, strike 2.
Fastball away, changeup. Very few breaking balls from Vogelsong.
Here is an 0-2 pitch. Up high. Talked to Bruce Bochy, the manager of the Giants, and asked him how much in game do you have to help Buster Posey, and he said hardly at all. Bochy, a former catcher himself, said Buster's so smart. We go over stuff at the beginning of the series, and it's in there.
Most of those signs given by Bochy to Posey is whether to get Vogelsong to throw to first or not.
2-2 the count.
Managers will do that. They won't call pitches, particularly an ex-catcher. He's not going to call a pitch for a young catcher. You don't learn that way. But he will call a throw to first base, and that's why Posey looks over occasionally.
So the count 2-2, 1 on, 1 out. Slow roller, tough play, Sandoval, base hit.
You know, the Tigers are probably thinking, after the broken bat hit by Infante and an infield hit by Jackson, maybe things are turning. Maybe the brakes, maybe, are starting to go our way.
It's 2 on, 1 out. The batter is Quentin Berry, with the big guy Cabrera on deck. And now the crowd is back. Berry walked his first time up. To the second baseman, out at second, and got them both. A big double play turn with Cabrera standing on deck. And the defense continues to shine for the Giants in October. Scudero, Crawford, use that great arm to get Berry, and after 3, 2-0, Giants. Into the low 40s by the end of the night, and Anibal Sanchez is back to the hill as we move into the 4th inning. 2-0. Hunter Pence first up. He walked, stole a base, and scored back in the 2nd. Scored on the RBI triple by Gregor Blanco, who scored on the 2-out RBI base hit by Crawford. Here's a base hit into left, and the broken bat went sailing into the Tigers dugout. Leadoff man is on. Pence on for the 2nd time tonight.
Hit it off the end of the bat. There are more bats broken hitting balls off the end than the handle, it seems like. Hunter Pence, it's almost like 2 bats a game that he breaks. That famous ball that he hit off the handle that crawled up the bat against the Cardinals to Cardinal shortstop Pete Kozma. One of the most unusual plays I've ever seen.
Sanchez steps off and looks at Pence. Pence has stolen a base. Brandon Belt at the plate. Blanco will follow as the Giants try to add to a 2-0 4th inning lead. Into center, and that's easy for Austin Jackson. Belt is 0 for 2. The World Series is sponsored by Windows 8 and by Direct. See how he has handled this right-hander Sanchez. And he got him for a ball that he drilled into the right center field gap with 1 out and 2 strikes back in the 3rd.
Austin Jackson was almost appealing to the dugout, asking should he play deep or not, because the ball Blanco hit his last time up. Before he hit that ball, Jackson was relatively shallow in center field. Now he's a few steps back.
And he plays Blanco to hit it the other way just a bit. That's a strike over the outside corner. The bottom of the 4th inning, it will be the heart of the lineup for the Tigers, trailing by at least 2. Means Cabrera, Prince Fielder, and Delman Young.
Remember a conversation that I overheard in spring training between Joe Madden manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, and Tony La Russa this past spring.
Here's the 0-1. Strike two.
Two great managers, and they were discussing the depth of the center fielder. Tony liked his center fielders to play deep and make more than 2 hits, score a run. Madden said, nope, I'm all for taking chances early. That's why B.J. Upton, the fine center fielder who's a free agent with Tampa Bay, played a shallow center field.
Here is the 0-2. Instead, Sanchez steps off. Although La Russa had Jim Edmonds for a long time in St. Louis, and he'd creep in.
Yeah, that's true.
He didn't mind going back on balls.
He did that on his own. Tony would prefer guys to play deep. Ran into Tony La Russa tonight for the game.
He's here and supporting his good friend Jim Leyland.
Yep.
And from the Bay Area, he makes his home during the offseason. The count's 1-2 on Gregor Blanco. That's into center for Jackson as well. 2 up. And with a runner at first, Hector Sanchez, the DH, will be the hitter. Get to the game with Chevrolet, the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. Find your chance to win an all-new 2013 Malibu at WorldSeries.com/Malibu. Here is Sanchez, who struck out looking his first time up, and now has 1 hit in 8 trips this postseason. Sanchez drops one in for strike 1. Anibal has struck out 4, allowed 1 walk, 2 runs on 4 hits so far. Trying to pitch around a leadoff hit by Pence. He is bothered by Pence over there. He stepped off quite a few times. Hunter stole a base while Belt was striking out in the second. That's in the dirt. Nice play by Avila. Ball 1.
Jeff Jones has talked to Sanchez about that. 14 of 15 base runners stole bases against Anibal this year. And Jeff Jones said the best way to deter the stolen base is hold the ball. He's doing it better, Jeff said.
Here's a 1-1. Changed up on Sanchez, and it's 1-2.
35 years ago, Jeff Jones asked Ricky Henderson what the greatest deterrent for him as a stolen base threat was. He said, pitchers that hold the ball. Good time to run for Pence.
So Sanchez threw over the count 1-2. That's inside. 2-2. There's a stat for everything. In the World Series fact, this is the 6th time batter has faced a pitcher. World Series history with the same last name. The last time, Ruben and Mariano Rivera in '98. And the Padres and the Yankees got together. That's strike 3, and that's the end of the top of the 4th. A leadoff hit. Sanchez gets around it. Bottom half rolls in. Big bats coming up. 2-0 San Francisco. Are meeting in the World Series. The award recognizes the most outstanding offensive performers in each league. As the AL representative, Miguel Cabrera takes a ball up and away. Fans voted on MLB.com, and a special panel of Hall of Fame players led by Hank Aaron himself joined fans in voting for the award. Buster Posey said after, "I'm just humbled that Hank Aaron even knows my name." That's foul as Cabrera pulled the trigger too soon. Strike 1. We're joined by Miguel's teammate, Max Scherzer, down in the dugout. That was pretty loud, that foul ball, Max.
Yeah, he got pretty close on that. So.
Yeah, you get a chance up close and personal to see how good Miguel Cabrera is day after day. He's remarkable.
Yeah, it's unbelievable what he can do at the plate. I mean, he can hit the ball off the ivy out there, or you can hit a single to right, staying inside the ball. So there really is no way to pitch him.
Max, that's in a ballpark that's tough to hit in, too.
Yeah, I mean, this park is big and really big to center, and yet he can make this look like any ballpark in the league by hitting it over the all those cameras out there. So it really doesn't matter to him.
1 ball, 1 strike. Cabrera leading off. 2-0 San Francisco in the 4th. And that's down and away for ball 2. You get the ball tomorrow night. How are you feeling at this point in the season, Max?
Oh, I feel great. Arm's getting stronger every day. And, for me, what an opportunity to pitch a Game 4 in the World Series. So I'm really looking forward to getting the ball tomorrow night.
2 balls and a strike on Cabrera. Crowd is trying to get after it, make some noise. And broken back, soft liner to Scudero, 1 out. Max, so much has been made, and Jim Leyland's talked about shoulder issues. You told us before the game that's completely behind you.
Oh, 100%. It was just a deltoid strain. It wasn't any structural damage, and so the only thing that worked was rest. So I had to miss a start. It was on some anti-inflammatories, and was able to get past it. Really missed 3 starts and made 3 starts since. Last start of the season, 2 in the postseason. So even through those 3 starts, I've even gotten stronger as I've gotten forward. So for me, I should be good for 100 pitches plus tomorrow.
First pitch, strike 1 to Prince Fielder. Max Scherzer is in the dugout joining us live. The end of the Tigers bench. Fielder is 0 for 1, bounced into a double play his first time up. A late swing and a miss. There's a reason you're on with us, Max, and that's because typically when Verlander gets interviewed from the dugout, you guys get runs. I mean, let's be honest here.
Yeah, he does a phenomenal interview, and I think that's why we score. So I'm going to try to give you guys the same.
All right,
and hopefully
good.
We can even get more.
Good. Well, we'll go through your scouting report and how you're going to try and get the Giant hitters out tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll just tell you the opposite, and then hopefully that works.
0-2, the count on Fielder. The Tigers had 2 on with 1 out in the first inning, and Prince bounced into a 4-6-3 double play. Delmon Young on deck. That is outside. What clicked for you this year, Max Scherzer, and why did you put together such a great year?
For me, it was really getting my hands to work in sync with my body. That I was kind of out of sync with my hands, and it was disrupting my timing on all my pitches. And once I was able to get that sync, get my rhythm back, that's when all of a sudden I had fastball location again, and both off-speed pitches, my slider and changeup, were both effective again.
Talking about your slider is getting deeper. Explain to the audience what that means, Max.
When it means deeper, it means it has more vertical drop to it. Slider, you want it to move in 2 planes, and when my slider's right.
There's strike 3 over the outside corner. Don't say that, Max. You almost slipped. Nobody on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When my slider's right, it has moves in 2 planes, and so that's when it's most effective. So the more depth I can get on my slider, the better I am.
Do you sense, as you guys trail here 2-0, 2-0 tonight, do you sense any desperation down in that dugout right now, or is there still life for you guys?
Oh, there's still plenty of life. It's baseball. We know it's only a 2-0 game. We can come back. I mean, it's baseball. Anything can happen with the talent on this team. We're still in this game all the way to the end.
Max, thanks for your time tonight. 2 out in the inning. We'll let you go, and good luck tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks for having me on.
All right, that's Max Scherzer, the young, very good right-hander for the Tigers. They made a deal, got him from Arizona, and they're glad that they did. He really blossomed this season. He'll get the ball against Matt Cain tomorrow night. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 out, nobody on. Young fly to center his first time up. Trying to get on against Vogelsong, and that is just a bit high. 2-1. Scherzer was part of that big deal, 3-way trade between the Yankees, the Diamondbacks, and these Tigers. That was back in 2009. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. There's a strike. 2-2.
That was a trade where all 3 teams were helped. Arizona, the Yankees, and Detroit.
Curtis Granderson, the big piece going to the Yankees. Arizona added to their pitching. Ian Kennedy has been a nice find for them. Edwin Jackson was there as part of that deal as well. That's a full count with Andy Dirks on deck. Two out, nobody on. Cabrera hit a soft liner. Caught by Scudero. Fielder struck out. And now the 3-2. Just low, a 2-out walk. And the second walk issued by Ryan Vogelsong through 3 2/3. There's Dave Righetti, the pitching coach for Bruce Bochy. Dirks will dig his way in representing the tying run. He hit 8 home runs during the regular season. Fly to right his first time up. Out of play left side, strike one. Give you a game summary as you watch us here in the 4th inning of game 3. Giants up in this game and in this series 2-0. Blanco with an RBI triple. He scored a run. The Tigers have hit into a couple of double plays. And the Giants have not trailed in 48 consecutive innings. Make it 49. That started with game 5 of the NLCS, and it continues through 4 innings of game 3 of the World Series. 2-0 Giants. Back after this from your local Fox station. Homer run with 2 out in the 2nd inning, a 2-run inning. It started with a walk to Pence. First pitch a strike, and now the next. Skips in from Anibal Sanchez. It's a 1-1 count. Pagan will follow, and then Marcos Scudero if anybody gets on Sandoval. Sanchez tries to keep it a 2-run game. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Strike 2. Good pitch from the right-hander. Bottom fell out of it, and now Crawford in the hole.
That's that plane that Max Scherzer was talking about. Changeup falling there, starting up, ending low.
A 1-2 pitch is slapped at and fouled by Crawford. Giants have won 5 straight this postseason. And lead here tonight. Broken bat. That will get out of play.
I mean, their starting pitching has just been sensational, and is once again tonight.
And Zito is on that list in the 5-game winning streak twice.
Who would have thought it?
Vogelsong could extend that streak and put his name on that list twice. Matt Cain is in there for the job he did in game 7, and then Madison Bumgarner in game 2 of the World Series. Cain game 7 of the NLCS. Bumgarner 7 shutout innings, only 2 hits. Here's a 1-2 pitch. A strikeout starts the inning, and that's number 6 for Sanchez. Our Nikon replays of the game so far, the big double plays hit into by the Tigers. First, it was Fielder in the first with 2 on 1 out. Beautifully turned by Crawford in the middle, and then the same off the bat of Quentin Berry, and Brandon Crawford with that great arm got the speedy Berry coming down the line, and that left Cabrera in the on-deck circle. Ball 1 to Pagan. Angel has chopped one to the right side, and Fielder's taking care of it at first base in each at bat. Now batting with 1 out in the 5th. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
On August 3rd, Angel Pagan moved from the 5th in the order to 1st, and the Giants took off offensively. He has been a terrific leadoff hitter, trying to do too much as a 5-hole hitter. He has excelled leading off.
Here's a 1-1. Fly ball into center, well hit. Back is Jackson on the run. Nice catch. 2 out. He went a mile into that big center field, almost 420 feet away.
Home run in most parks. The heel of the glove for the second out here in the 5th. It's a big ballpark. And again, as Max was saying, how anybody could win a Triple Crown in this ballpark is remarkable.
I bet Pagan is shocked.
Yeah.
He's out number 2 instead of his first home run in the World Series.
Yeah, that's a home run in San Francisco or almost anywhere.
A ball outside to Scutaro, who's 0 for 2. That ball was drilled. And now that foul tip gets some of the home plate umpire, Field and Colbert. Count 1-1. Right off the chest protector under the shirt. And now the 1-1. Ball 2. It'll be a huge day on Fox tomorrow. Great doubleheader NFL action. And then we'll be back tomorrow night. And that guy, Matt Cain, gets the ball for the Giants against our interview in the 4th inning, Max Scherzer. Inning is over. How about the catch by Austin Jackson in center? And Pagan, he knows how big this park is. 2-0 Giants after 4.5. Here is the next. Peralta hits it hard and caught. Sandoval with a lunging catch to his right. 1 away.
Inside fastball caught by Sandoval.
That ball took a dive too when it got to Sandoval. That wasn't an easy catch. And with 1 out, nobody on, the batter will be Avila. Alex struck out his first time. And in his career during the postseason, he is around a 120 hitter, trying to get something started, takes a strike.
Once again, the first 5 innings, Detroit has not had their leadoff man on. Joaquin Benoit up and throwing for Detroit. Porcello up earlier. Makes you wonder in a league with the DH if Sanchez is all right.
Problem isn't the pitching tonight, numbers wise, and it wasn't in game 2. It's the offense.
Right.
For Detroit. Shut down on 2 hits. Here's a base hit into right. Off the bat of Avila. He's on with 1 out here in the 5th. The World Series is sponsored by the completely redesigned 2013 Chevrolet Malibu. And now Infante, who is 8 out of 12 against Ryan Vogelsong. He singled in the 3rd with 1 out. He bats with a runner at first. Infante came with Anibal Sanchez, tonight's starter for the Tigers in that July 23rd trade with the Marlins. Batting in the number 9 spot, he takes a strike over the outside corner. Infante joined this team and settled down a position where the Tigers used 7 other second basemen during the course of the year. Here's the 0-1. Up and away, a ball and a strike.
Tigers in Jim Leyland, very familiar with Infante. He was with the Tigers about 8 years ago. One of Jim Leyland's ideal players. do a lot of things with the bat, steady around second.
30 years old. Back for another chance with Detroit in the World Series. He takes a strike in the count 1-2. Good pitch. Outside part right at the knees. One on, one out, 1-2 pitch. Little fly ball into right. That ball is down. The base hit. Avila will stop at second. 2 on with 1 out for the Tigers here in the 5th.
That's short to the ball right there.
Geico in-game box score. He has got 2 base hits, 2 for 2. Infante. Avila on with his first hit right in front of him. Jackson coming up is 1 for 2 and back to the hit to right.
We talked about it earlier. Going to right field all the way. May have broken the bat. It's certainly wobbling on our super slow-mo. Second straight hit for Infante.
And now Austin Jackson with the tying runs on. Time called by Buster Posey. Unbelievable numbers for Vogelsong. Up and in, ball 1. We saw just 4 earned runs allowed in over 40 innings for Vogelsong. You see what the Tigers have done with runners in scoring position this series. Tigers have not strung together 3 straight hits yet against the Giants. Here is a 1-0 pitch. 2-0 from Vogelsong. And a little concern in that Giants dugout for the first time tonight. And now Posey wants to go talk. We keep talking about those travels. Here is how Ryan Vogelsong is standing on that mound in the 5th inning of Game 3. Drafted by the Giants in '98. And then he went on that tour. 10 minor league teams. 2 teams in Japan over 3 years. Signed back with the Giants. Was an all-star last year. And this postseason almost perfect as he hits the outside corner to make it 2-1 on Jackson.
Tough situation, good pitch.
Framed by Posey in the count 2-1. Quentin Berry on deck. Got it by his bat, 91 miles per hour, a full count.
3-2, 2-1, 1 out. I don't think Jim Leland sends the runners here. Jackson swings through too many pitches.
So the count full. Avila the lead runner at second. Infante at first. One out. All the pressure on Austin Jackson. Fouled back. Two managers wondering where this game is headed in the fifth. Vogelsong again slows it down, steps off. Jackson on 3-2. Takes a walk and the bases are loaded. And Dave Righetti, the pitching coach, will come out and talk to Ryan Vogelsong. The batter will be Quentin Berry. With the bases loaded, one out. Ken Rosenthal is with us, and this Quentin Berry is some story. He has really bounced around in his career. What a spot for him.
Joe, before this season, he had played only 4 games at AAA. He said he was accustomed to his season ending on September 2nd, not in late October. And frankly, he considered AAA to be his major leagues. But the Tigers needed a potential backup to Austin Jackson, and here he is.
Here he is, having bounced around with 5 different organizations over the last 2 years. He's 0 for 1 in this game. He came up in late May, hit .297 through July 16th, but just .212 after that. Jim Leyland wanted his speed in the lineup. He's in that key spot in front of Cabrera with his team down by 2. Strike 1. Avila, Infante, and Jackson. Only Berry's 4th career big league at bat with the bases loaded. The 0-1. Showed patience there, didn't go after it, a ball and a strike. As Tim Lincecum and Jose Mijares, the righty and left-hander, getting ready in the bullpen. The 1-1. Posey thought it was a strike. Surprised it wasn't as he double clutched after popping up. It's 2-1.
That stutter step forward. Posey thought it was 1-2 instead of 2 balls and a strike. A break for the Tigers.
A 2-1. Fouled back, and that pitch was up. 2-2.
So a pitch called a strike or called a ball because it was right on the corner. Posey wanted it. And Berry helping Vogelsong out, swinging it that high.
So now the count 2-2. A big strikeout for Vogelsong, 2 down. Chased a pitch ahead in the count, and Vogelsong took advantage, strikeout number 3.
5 pitches. He got a strike, On a 1-1 pitch, he thought it was a strike, it was a ball, and here's the key pitch of that at bat. That made it 2-2, and he strikes out. But look who's up.
Miguel Cabrera, the game's most feared hitter with the bases loaded, 2 out. That's down the right field line, slicing foul. Cabrera has a base hit. The big 3-4 combination, still looking for a difference-making swing of the bat in this World Series. Cabrera or Fielder? What a job by Vogelsong. The inning is over, and the Tigers now have stranded 6. Cabrera had his chance, and Vogelsong continues his brilliant pitching throughout all that. It's still 2-0 Giants as we play 5. The first pitch is strike to Pablo Sandoval. That skips in, a ball and a strike.
The pitch to Cabrera was a fastball up and in. And if you're going to jam a hitter, Vogelsong could not have painted that pitch in a better spot. It was a ball, very effective.
Cabrera trying to end frustration and come up with a big hit. This one into the gap. Nice catch. Good jump by Austin Jackson, 1 out. Back to that pitch on Miguel Cabrera to get the Giants out of trouble.
In on the hands, brings the hands in. We talked about it in the opening. That pitch has been terrific for Vogelsong throughout the postseason.
Vogelsong struck out Berry and then got Cabrera to pop it up, and now Posey does that, pops it up right side for Fielder. 2 out. The World Series is sponsored by Jennie-O. Make the switch. Look for Jennie-O turkey at a store near you. By T-Mobile, test drive our nationwide 4G network. And by Gatorade. Gatorade knows it all begins within. Win from within. Top of the 6th inning. Here's Hunter Pence. The Tigers at the bottom of the inning will have Fielder, Young, and Dirks. Fielder, a frustrated hitter as well. We try to get it started in the bottom of the inning as Pence takes a strike. Sanchez gave up 2 runs in the second. RBI by Gregor Blanco. And a 2-out RBI hit by Brandon Crawford. The only scoring of the night. And Vogelsong has thrown 92 pitches through 5. There's strike 2. Pence likes to chase pitches out of the strike zone. Went after one of the better fastballs tonight by Sanchez at 94. And the count 0-2.
That's what pitchers say in the National League. Throw him a pitch you can't reach.
The next from Anibal Sanchez in the dirt.
Hunter's had 4 straight good at bats. The last 2 at bats in game 2 and the first 2 at bats tonight. Right in the thick of the scoring.
Walked, stole a base, and scored in the second. Led off the 4th inning with a sharp single to left. Just got a piece. If you didn't watch the feature in our pregame, this is how he goes to and from the ballpark at home. Joe Day, the clubhouse chef, built that for him as Cabrera tries to make a play, cannot. And that'll be an infield base hit for Hunter Pence.
Hunter Pence has not made an out in his last 5 at-bats. That included he scored a run, drove in the other run in that 2-0 victory for the Giants, and scored the first run of the game tonight.
He's got 2 more hits. That one an infield hit, and Brandon Belt will get a chance to swing it here in the 6th inning. Fielder, Young, and Dirks for the Tigers, and it is getting desperate for Detroit. That is strike 1. This Tiger team won 50 games here at home this season. Tied for the 2nd most during the regular year. Yankees won 51. They led baseball. And the Tigers are 4-0 here at home this postseason. (1-2) against Oakland, 1-2 against the Yankees. Trailing here tonight 2-0. Walked by Avila. Ball and a strike. Temperature really starting to drop. Sandoval lined out to start the inning. Good running catch by Austin Jackson in left center. Posey popped up. Pence with an infield hit. Batter is Belt. 0 for 2. 0 for 8 in the World Series. This would be a time to run if Hunter Pence can find the right time to do it. He did back in the 2nd with Belt at the plate and stole second base. Two and one. There's Blanco, who has the biggest swing of the night. There's been plenty of activity in the bullpen for Detroit, but Sanchez still out there. He's 1 strike away from pitching 6. Over 100 pitches for the night. Drew Smiley, the left-hander. Al Albuquerque, the right-hander, are ready if needed. Lefty coming up next, Blanco. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Fouled away. With Blanco next in his success against Sanchez and Smiley ready. Anibal Sanchez may be pitching to stay in the game right here. 1 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nice play by Avila. Full count.
That's why you don't run with 2 outs and a 2-2 count on the hitter, because if the pitch is a ball, you're compelled to run anyway. Now 3-2, 2 out.
Play behind Pence at first. The 3-2. Got him looking, and the inning is over. 7 strikeouts on the night for Anibal Sanchez, who heads off the field down by 2. Tigers coming up. Fielder will try and start it. Down by 2.
Both.
Prince hit into 1 in the 1st. Quentin Berry, who's had a rough night, hit into 1 in the 3rd. Pitch number 94 is scooped up by Posey. Ball 1 to Delmon Young. Benoit again is getting loose. is Tim Lincecum, who was really turned into a weapon out of the bullpen for Bruce Bochy.
And he can pitch more times from the bullpen than he can as a starter. 3 times max from the bullpen, only twice as a starter. So his ineffectiveness during the season may be quite an ally, and has been quite an ally to Bruce Bochy in the postseason.
How about the last 5 games? This is coming into tonight, and what this group has done. Zito 2 times on that list. That's why there are only 4 guys pictured. Vogelsong now is 2 times on that list as he gets one by Delman Young. Why is that? Because his line is now tonight, after that great game 6 in the NLCS against the Cardinals. 5 1/3, no runs, 5 hits. He struck out 3, walked 3. Here's a 2-2. That's over but low. Full count. There's Larry Baer, who is the CEO and president of the Giants. Grew up in the Bay Area and loving every minute of this. As Young checks on Sandoval. Tough play. Great arm, and what a throw. So there's a guy who taught himself, Tim, how to throw right-handed at the age of 9.
Right. 9 years old. It worked. What didn't work, coming into this series, we talked about the advantages of the Detroit Tigers, and we had check marks, and we put 2 check marks, not 1, in front of the starting pitchers of the Detroit Tigers. But it's been the San Francisco Giants that should have 2 check marks for their starting pitching. Keys to the series. Boy, the Giants starters have just been sensational. What are you going to say?
We got our checks mixed.
Yeah.
There's a pitch down and away from Vogelsong to Dirks, who's 0 for 2. He's flied to right, grounded out, trying to keep this 6th inning alive. A 1-0 from Vogelsong, strike 1. And now you go for the Giants into the area where they're so strong with their bullpen, the versatility. Left-handers, the right-handers. Lincecum is kind of a guy to bridge it. Vogelsong is doing his thing again here tonight. 2-1 the count. Peralta on deck. Tigers have stranded 6 tonight. Hit into 2 double plays and left the bases loaded. Now 3-1. Because of that, a 2-0 game doesn't feel like a 2-run game. It feels like more than that, but it would not take much for the Tigers to feel a lot better about themselves here in game 3. Here's a 3-1. Up and in, a 2-out walk. It's the 4th walk of the night for Vogelsong. And it will bring in Peralta.
I remember a conversation I had with Jim Leland in spring training, and we were talking about Peralta, and Jim said, don't get me wrong. We talked about his limited range at shortstop. He said, but don't get me wrong. I like a 2 or 3 run homer in the 6th or 7th.
Well, he'd take one here, but it may not be, and it won't against Vogelsong. He doesn't like it. Shaking his head as Lincecum will come in out of the bullpen. The walk ends the night for Vogelsong, who can only be the winner if he gets a decision here in game 3. The numbers are staggering. 10 2/3 innings out of the bullpen this postseason. 1 run on 3 hits. Along the way, he has racked up 14 strikeouts, walked only 1. In relief of Ryan Vogelsong. Peralta takes a strike in at the knees. There's Vogelsong. He has done it again. No runs. Not as deep into the game. 5 2/3. Just 5 hits. And that 4th walk was the end of his night. Dirks is on, 2 out, the 0-1 to Peralta. Strike 2. We had a chance to visit with Tim Lincecum prior to game 2. And he is enjoying his time in the bullpen, getting his stuff worked out. Struggled this season like he has before in the big leagues. But he's got great stuff. The 0-2. That's into right center field. It will tail right to Pence. And the inning is over. A walk, a relief appearance by Lincecum. Ryan Vogelsong, 5 2/3 shutout. He loved it. 2-0 after 6 in game 3. Back after this from your local Fox station. Who had an RBI triple in the second, scored a run. Like he was going to try and push a bunt. He had Cabrera in at third, took a strike. Just to wrap up on Vogelsong for the moment, it's the 7th straight start for Ryan Vogelsong where he's allowed 1 run or less. Moving around again, Blanco in the batter's box. And a hug from his catcher Buster Posey. Vogelsong didn't want to come out, but Lincecum did his job. He got the fly ball off the bat of Peralta to end the 6th. Here's a 1-1. Ball 2. Blanco shot a ball into the gap in right center and then turned on the Jets and made it to third easily. Ahead on the count here, 2-1. Sanchez slapping at it. Cabrera makes the play and got him at first as Fielder made the stretch for out number 1.
Terrific play by Prince Fielder. Blanco tried that 3 times and finally made contact. A quick, strong throw, but Fielder was off the bag there and then tried to come back. Blanco may have beaten the throw. I think that right foot was up in the air when the hand was on the bag.
I agree. You never saw a definitive look, though, as Sanchez is now 0 for 3. Hector struck out twice and now flies to right. But it looked like the foot of Fielder, the right one, was up in the air when the hand would have crossed from Gregor Blanco.
Yeah. Here it is one more time. Or what? No, he's not on the bag there. It's up. The hand touches the bag. He was safe.
I agree. Fielder did get the foot back down on the bag, but it looked like Blanco had touched it.
It appeared that way. Still a fine play by Prince Fielder to get the call.
And still virtually impossible to see definitive proof that he was safe and the foot was off the bag. As Crawford has his second hit of the night with 2 out. He had a 2-out RBI base hit in the second, made it 2-0. And now he's on with 2 out here in the 7th. And it will bring in Angel Pagan, who put a charge into the ball his last time up. He gave a glance over at the Tiger dugout to see if Leland was coming out. Leland had Benoit up earlier. He is up again and ready. But for now, it will be Anibal Sanchez trying to get Pagan for the 4th time tonight. Strike 1. In the bottom of this 7th inning, it'll be Avila, Infante, and Austin Jackson. Pfister was good in game 2. Sanchez good here in game 3 as he's allowed 2 runs. That's it. Almost through 7 innings. He's allowed only 6 hits.
Nice to see Doug Pfister in the clubhouse tonight, walking around and looking fine, smiling. No ill effects from that frightening line drive off his head in game 2.
I said, are you tired of the questions? He said, it just means people care.
That's right. Guys love to answer questions like that.
He is totally fine. Ken Rosenthal, did you talk to Doug?
I did. No CAT scan, no MRI. He is fine. Not even a bump on his head. And really, I talked to him about just surviving that whole thing, and he said, hey, my dad, Larry, was a defensive lineman at Fresno State. And the family motto is, if you can walk off the field, you'll walk off the field. So a near serious situation was not all that serious as it turned out.
0-1 the count on Pagan, 1 on, 2 out. A ball and a strike. Scudero next, either here in the 7th, and I would imagine if it's here in the 7th, it'll be against Benoit.
Right.
We're leading off in the 8th. Remember, the Tigers had a pitcher, Rick Porcello, up way back in the 2nd. Benoit and Smiley have both been up. Benoit more than once. But Anibal Sanchez has persevered. Problem is his teammates have not been able to string together hits. 1 ball, 1 strike on Angel Pagan. Now strike 2.
Sanchez still has that good breaking ball and good changeup.
Here's a 1-2 runner goes. Throw down by Avila, not in time. And now an easier RBI chance for Pagan with a count of 2-2.
And again, that's the problem. When a pitcher has a good changeup or a curveball, it takes longer to get to the plate. It was down in the dirt. Alex Avila had too much to do before he made the play. And the second stolen base of the night for the Giants.
Now a 2-2 pitch. That's a big run sitting out there for the Giants as Pagan hooked it foul. Brandon Crawford 2 out of 3 tonight. 7th road postseason game this 2012 for Crawford, and he is well over 300 away from San Francisco. And he's played a great shortstop. Came in with 18 straight errorless games at the most important position out there in the field. Now Avila wants to make sure with a runner at second. So he'll go talk to Anibal Sanchez. Tomorrow night, the matchup. Matt Cain, Max Scherzer. Game 4. That's right after football on Fox in that great late game of the Giants and Cowboys. 2-2 pitch. Got him looking, and the inning is over. Big pitch by Sanchez. And he strikes out 8 on the night. Looking for some run support. Something he has struggled to get all season long. Whether in Miami or here in Detroit, it's 2-0 Giants. Time to stretch. Here in Detroit, we go to public address announcer Bob Vergils for the introduction of God Bless America. Fonte. Back to the top of the order, Austin Jackson. The big bats will come to the plate again for the Tigers before the end of this one. They've had their chances tonight. Fielder had 2 on with 1 out in the first, hit into a double play. Cabrera had the bases loaded, 2 out in the 5th. Then he popped up. 2-0 bottom of the 7th. Vila takes outside, 1-1. Lincecum got the final out in the 6th. Now he bounces one in there, 2-1. Wheeler struck out and singled against Vogelsong. That's outside, 3-1. Chopped off the plate. Lincecum to the bag, and an easy out as it turns out to start the 7th. Major League Baseball helps Boys and Girls Clubs of America reach 4 million kids worldwide. Visit greatfutures.org to learn how you can support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Mickey Stanley was out there, spent his entire 15-year career with the Tigers, primarily in center from 64 to 78.
He won 4 Gold Gloves in center field and started the 1968 World Series at shortstop to give Al Kaline a chance to play right field. Northrup at center. Here's number 6.
Here's a fly ball into right. Easy for Hunter Pence. 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and there's the great Al Kaline. Just loved here in Detroit, throwing out the first pitch before Game 3.
Elegance, grace, class, all of those things. He reeks of all of those words.
18 years old. That's how old he was when he came straight off the Sandlots of Baltimore and won a batting title at the age of 20. 1955, the youngest player ever to win a batting title. 1 day younger than Ty Cobb did when he won. 2 out, nobody on. First pitch of ball to Jackson, and now a swinging strike.
At one time this year, there was talk of Mike Trout of the Angels perhaps breaking Al Kaline's record, but Miguel Cabrera led the American League in hitting, not Mike Trout. Even though, boy, did he burst on the scene. Goodness.
2-1 on Austin Jackson. And he's the only player, obviously, that could challenge Miguel Cabrera for the AL MVP.
Right.
Here's a 2-1. 2-2 from Tim Lincecum, the 2-time Cy Young Award winner, who is now a huge weapon out of the bullpen for Bruce Bochy.
He looks like he's got better stuff today and tonight than he did his first round in Game 1. Two out, nobody on. Here's a 2-2. Full count. Benoit, it appears, will take over in the 8th. Fouled back by Jackson, who walked to load the bases in the 5th with 1 out. Then Quentin Berry struck out. Miguel Cabrera, in the biggest at bat of the night for the Tigers, popped up. Inside, a 2-out walk. And on base for the 3rd time tonight is Austin Jackson, as Quentin Berry will be the hitter. Berry is hit into a double play and struck out with the bases loaded. Strike 1. Joe, last inning you mentioned the word desperation. The Tigers are desperate to get Berry on base so their big gun can come up again. This time with 2 on, not 3 on.
chase the pitch. That good delivery from Lincecum in the count 0-2 as Jeremy Affeldt, the left-hander, cranks it up. The last 14 innings for the Tiger hitters. Not one extra base hit, and Barry strikes out for the second time tonight. 0 for 3 as he gets his first World Series start. And now the Tigers have stranded 8. We go to the 8th, 2-0. Giants on top. But a 2-0 game. Anibal Sanchez goes 7, allows 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 8, walked only 1, threw a wild pitch. Marco Scutaro is first up. Benoit hits the outside corner. Anibal Sanchez had the second lowest run support of any starting pitcher in baseball during 2012, and in the postseason, obviously, this game becomes even more team-oriented than individual statistics. But for Sanchez, a guy who will be a free agent, as that goes back to the screen, 1 ball, 1 strike, he now has been handed in support 2 runs or fewer in 23 of his 34 starts this season. And that includes tonight.
Yeah, something over which, of course, he has no control. Phil Koch up now for the Tigers.
It's Scutaro, Sandoval, Posey against Benoit. Two and 1. In the bottom of this 8th inning, if there's a save to be had for the Giants on their pitching staff, it may come in the bottom of this inning. Cabrera, Fielder, Delman, Young, with 3, 4, and 5 hitters. What is now a 2-run game.
It's a very good point, illustrating that saves come at different times during a game.
Lincecum is in the game and pitching well, as he did in the LCS, as he did in the division series, as he did in game 1 of this World Series. That's on the corner, 2-2. Scutaro ended the season with a 20-game hitting streak. And he has a streak of having reached safely with at least 1 base hit in 18 straight on the road since the 2nd of September on. That includes the postseason, but 0 for 3 tonight. He was hitless in game 2. That's Peralta to his left. Out number 1. Let's go back in time and look at 1966. That's the last time a team threw back-to-back shutouts, and they actually shut out the Dodgers games 2 through 4. Palmer was obviously part of that. McNally.
Gentleman, Jim Palmer beat Sandy Koufax 6-0 in Sandy Koufax's last pitching appearance.
Wally Bunker also on that list. But how about this stat? As Pablo Sandoval stands in and comes up empty, strike 1. The last time a National League team threw back-to-back shutouts, the other was the AL side for the Orioles, 1919. And that was the Black Sox. The White Sox and the Black Sox scandal, who were shut out. Here's a fly ball into it is off the base of the wall, and Sandoval is into second with a 1-out double. He's got 2 more hits tonight.
Reaching out, pitches a ball off the plate, tailing away a 2-seam fastball. And Sandoval once again shows power the other way. One of the home runs he hit off Justin Verlander in game 1 was away.
almost rode that thing all the way out of here, and that's now 23 hits in this postseason. That's the most ever for a Giant in any single postseason. He's at second, one out, and the batter is Posey, takes a strike.
I was interested in some quotes made by Will Clark, the ex-Giant, ex-Cardinal, great player, who said Sandoval has the best hand-eye coordination he had ever seen. And when you think about it, to be that much of a bad ball hitter, you have to have the best hand-eye coordination, because he swings at balls way off the plate and hits them with authority.
Runner at second, one out. The 0-1 pitch from Benoit. Up and away to Posey, who has driven in 7 for the entire postseason, 1 in this World Series. Here is a 1-1 pitch with a runner at second, one out. Posey trying to add to a 2-0 lead. Strike 2. Giants having fun, and that includes here in this World Series. He makes that little heart back to the dugout, and there's Pagan. Angel Pagan making fun of Sandoval. Lincecum sitting near Zito. Lincecum is in the ball game, pitching for the Giants, hoping for more of a cushion. Here's a 1-2. Got him looking as that tailed back over for strike 3. 2 out.
Benoit got to 2 strikes with a splitter and finished Posey off with a fastball.
And with 2 out and a runner at second, the batter will be Pence. And that will bring Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, out. Pence, all of a sudden, is hot. He has walked tonight, 2 singles. And with the left-handed hitting Brandon Belt on deck, we will see how aggressive the Tigers want to be with Hunter Pence. Fox NFL Sunday tomorrow. We'll talk about Eli Manning and those clutch performances that he is known for now across the NFL. Starting at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, the Built Ford Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show before a great slate of games. Good early games, and then they funnel into a big one late with the Giants and the Cowboys. Meeting number 2 this season between these 2 clubs.
Got to think Jeff Jones told Benoit, now don't dare throw Pence a strike.
Here's a free swinger, a base open. Belt on deck. Strike 1. A strikeout of Buster Posey.
Told you.
Pence gets back in. Sandoval a 1-out double. He's there with 2 out. 2-0 Giants in the 8th. Here comes an 0-1. A ball and a strike.
I know the worst thing a catcher can hear in that situation is be careful with this guy, because there is no upside to the 2 words, be careful. It means if he gets a hit, it's your fault. If he doesn't, well, then you did what I told you.
1 ball, 1 strike. Runner at second, 2 out. To the shortstop, Peralta gets a high hop and gets his man. That sends us into the bottom of the 8th inning as Pence is retired for the first time tonight. The big bats of Cabrera, Fielder, Delman Young coming up against Lincecum, protecting a 2-0 lead.
Giants.
In this World Series as a team. Ball one up and in from Lincecum. And the combination of Cabrera and Fielder, the best 3-4 combo in baseball during the regular season. 3 out of 17 combined. And they've left 12 men on base. Here's a 1-0. On the inside corner, a ball and a strike from Lincecum. Lincecum got the final out in the 6th. Allowed a 2-out walk in the 7th. And now works to Cabrera. Up by 2. Shattered bat. Nice diving stop. Crawford. What a play. And the defense continues for the Giants. And Crawford is right in the middle of it again.
And that might have kept Tim Lincecum in the game, too. Had that ball trickled through, then the left-hander comes in to pitch to Fielder. Great play by Brandon Crawford. Shattered bat, lunge, made the play, great throw. What a play.
What a player he's becoming defensively for the Giants.
You bet.
It would be 19 straight errorless games for Crawford. A guy who committed 18 during the regular season, but none in the postseason when it counts the most. As Joaquin Arias has taken over for Sandoval, he's in the game at 3rd. Trying to add to the defense behind Lincecum. Fielder takes strike 2. Prince 0 for 3 tonight, 1 out of 9 in this series. And Lincecum is rolling. Here's an 0-2. Struck him out on 3 pitches, 2 out. The World Series is sponsored by Walmart. Layaway is back at Walmart on select items now through December 14th. By the Nikon One, a different kind of Nikon. And by Taco Bell's Steal a Base, Steal a Taco, Live Moss. With 2 out, nobody on, here is Delman Young, the DH for the Tigers. Strike 1. Javier Lopez was up. Affeldt is back up. They've been flip-flopping those 2 left-handers. And Santiago Casilla is the right-hander for the Giants in their pen. Hard hit right at Crawford. Boots it, picks it up. And is safe at first as Belt can't dig it out.
It's going to be an error on Crawford, but he had time after he dropped it. He tried to hurry the throw. And in between hop, Belt couldn't come up with it. But had Crawford taken his time a little bit more, made a good throw, he gets Young easily.
And so the inning continues on the first error of the postseason by Crawford. And now in a 2-0 game, Andy Dirks takes a strike. No sign of the left-hander. With Affeldt getting loose, Bochy likes the way Lincecum is working. Trying to get around the error and finish the 8th. What a stab by Posey.
That is a terrific play by a guy with some great hands. Watch. That is so hard. 2-seam fastball that kept going away. And Posey came up with it.
Now the 1-1. Bottom falling out of these pitches, and that's strike 2.
What kind of hands it takes to do that? Good ones.
Prevented a wild pitch, keeps Young at first. He's there with 2 out. And a 1-2 pitch coming to Dirks. A strikeout ends the inning. And Lincecum gets around the error. And the Tigers still can't find a big hit. We go to the 9th inning of Game 3. Giants batting up 2-0. Feature of the night, Sanchez, then Benoit, now Koch, trying to keep it 2-0. The real interesting decision will be in the bottom of this 9th inning, at least to me. for Bruce Bochy.
His closer's right-handed, and yet he's got a pitcher in Tim Lincecum who certainly knows how to
finish games himself as a starter. His stuff looks untouchable, and so Bochy's going to have to decide whether to run Tim Lincecum back out there or go to Sergio Romo, his closer, in the bottom of the inning.
Yeah, he's pitched only 2 1/3 innings, so if he does come back in this series, it will be in Game 7, if, of course, there is one.
32 pitches so far for Lincecum. That's not an issue. A starter all year. There is activity for the Giants in their pen. I'll say this, whoever gets loose out there, if somebody starts throwing, they're not going to pitch any better than Lincecum has to this point. First pitch of ball. Now Belt fouls one off Avila. Count 1-1. Inside of the right knee for Avila.
In Game 1, Lincecum came in, retired 7 in a row, 5 strikeouts. Tonight, no hits again. 2 base runners, a walk, and an error on Crawford. 3 strikeouts. He has been superb.
Came on the air talking about how much better the Tigers were this year when facing right-handed pitching after losing to back-to-back lefties in games 1 and 2. Hitting over 20 points higher against right-handers. Tigers have been totally shut down tonight. That's ball 2, 2-1. And as a group, hitting less than 179 in this World Series after all the talk. The pitching of the Tigers holding the Yankees to a 157 team average in the ALCS. Phil Koch's not allowed to run the postseason. 2 for 2 in save chances, trying to keep it a 2-run game. Big good swing by Belt. To count 2-2. On deck, another lefty, Blanco. And the switch hitter, Sanchez. In the bottom of the inning, it'll be Peralta, Avila, Infante. Bottom 3. Here is a 2-2 from Phil Koch. Got him, 1 away. Let's go back to that play that Posey made with 1 on 2 out, corralling that sinker down and away. Home plate umpire Fielden Culbreth wearing a mic. Here's what he thought.
I feel like I should have to give it to you. There's no way you caught that baseball.
There's no way you caught that baseball, and that's the way he did it.
Kind of serious. I mean, Posey using that glove like a cesta in the highlight.
Here's a strike to Blanco.
And that's about an 88, 90 mile an hour pitch. That's so far outside, and how he wrapped it so quickly. Believe me, that takes an awfully good set of hands to do that.
Blanco right in the middle of the only scoring in this game 3. In the hole 0-2. In the second, a leadoff walk to Hunter Pence. He stole second on a strikeout by Belt. Moved to third on a wild pitch. Scored on the RBI triple by this man, Gregor Blanco, into right center. And then Blanco scored on a 2-out RBI hit to center by Crawford. That is it. Since then, it's been all Vogelsong and Lincecum. 1-2 on Blanco. Sanchez, the switch hitter, and the DH tonight, 0 for 3 on deck. Sergio Romo is up. Blanco's at the plate. Romo's in the bullpen. Here is a 2-2 pitch from Cope. Got him on the outside corner, 2 out. And Blanco does not agree.
Gregor thought that pitch was outside. He had a point. Tough sweeping breaking ball from Cope.
Now Sanchez with 2 out, nobody on. Again, the bottom 3 in the order coming up for the Tigers in the bottom of this 9th. Down 2 games to nothing. Strike 1. Good pitch down and away. Two out, bases empty in the 0-1 pitch. Strike 2. Sanchez in danger of striking out for the 3rd time tonight. What's on the line in the bottom of the 9th inning is that no team has ever in the history of the World Series come back down 3 games to nothing. That would be the case if the Giants hang on. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. A 3-0 deficit for the Tigers when they line up tomorrow night behind Max Scherzer against Matt Cain. Scherzer and Cain, 2 right-handers in Game 4 tomorrow night. It's only happened once, and that was in 2004. The history of the postseason in baseball, that was in the ALCS. The Red Sox beating the Yankees. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. 2 out, nobody on. Struck him out, sending us to the bottom of the 9th. The bottom of the order coming up. Peralta, Avila, Infante, trying to get something going. Down by 2 in Game 3. We will have Game 5 of the World Series. No need to leave your couch all month long. Keep it right here on Fox. If there is a Game 5, and that depends on what happens here in the 9th inning, and then obviously tomorrow night, the Tigers will have the luxury of sending Justin Verlander back to the hill, trying to get this series back to San Francisco. But right now, here in Game 3, down by just 2, it's Sergio Romo in the game to deal with the bottom 3 in the lineup. The Tigers hitters, and the difference from the ALCS to this World Series, 3 games, 3 total runs, hitting 179, 1 home run. First up here in the bottom of the 9th inning, Johnny Peralta.
We were talking about it last inning, Joe. Very tempting to leave Tim Lincecum after throwing only 32 pitches in the game to finish this game. But Sergio Romo has saved 14 of 15 this year. 1 blown save. That's it.
He saved Game 2, his 2nd save of the postseason. Giants lost their closer, Brian Wilson, in April. And it has evolved to where it's Romo's job. Bottom of the 9th inning, Peralta, ball 1 outside. Lincecum 2 1/3, no runs, no hits. Struck out 3, walked 1. Pitched around an error. Vogelsong in line for the win. Here is a 1-0 pitch. Tried to hold up, might have been a strike anyway. 1-1.
Romo fastball, slider, primarily sliders to right-handed hitters.
Here is a 1-1 pitch to Peralta. On the outside corner, strike 2.
3 in a row. That one perfect.
Peralta's lined out twice. 0 for 3 on the night. Trying to get on to start this 9th inning. Romo's 1-2. He did not go. 2-2.
Hey, right-handed hitters just have to take the outside part of the plate away from Romo. That was very close. But I think a good call by Brian O'Nora.
So the count 2-2. Fouled away. Nothing but sliders from Sergio Romo.
5 in a row.
Now a 2-2. Breaking ball again. This one a little more on the plate. And Peralta, who's been reaching for the last few pitches, fouled it away. Johnny during the regular season hit .239. 13 home runs. He is 1 for 10 in this World Series.
Fastball inside.
Getting encouragement from Buster Posey. And that is ripped down the line into the corner. It is caught for the out. Gregor Blanco down the line, and he got to it before this ball could bounce in foul territory. What a catch.
He is all over the place in left field. The two great catches. In game 2, Peralta can't believe it. He finally got a fastball inside after 6 breaking balls. And Romo is appreciative, and that's an understatement.
For the defense, and I know Crawford made that error last inning, but the defense continues to shine to back up this tremendous pitching by the Giants. With 1 out, here is Avila. Ball 1 down and in.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Romo is he will can that slider against left-handed hitters because it floats into that vulnerable down and in area where left-handers can handle it. More fastballs against left-handers.
Here is a 1-0 pitch. And came back for strike 1. Romo is not a mid-90s guy with his fastball.
No, right.
189 for strike 1.
Relies on movement.
Avila has a hit tonight. 2-1. Here is a 2-1 pitch to Avila. Into left center field, to his right, Pagan, and the Giants are 1 out away from a 3-0 series lead. And that'll bring in Omar Infante with 2 out, nobody on.
As much as anybody on either side, Omar Infante really knows how to play the game. He knows how to play the odds. We've seen him bunt in a situation like this to try to just get on. Arias even with the bag at third base.
Tigers need just 1 base runner to have a chance. Romo trying to prevent that and save it for Vogelsong. Strike 1. did square around, and that pulled Arias in from third base. Now he backs up. On deck is Jackson. But right now it's up to Infante for the Tigers to try and extend it. Giants 1 out away from a 3-0 lead. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2. Good slider from Romo. Infante set up at 0-2. The next. Wouldn't go after it.
If there's ever a chance to dive across that plate and hit a ball to right field, now's the time for Infante. Forget about anything inside. It is not going to happen. He knows that.
Omar with 2 strikes. The next breaking ball is fouled left side. That ball will get out of play.
Blanco thinks he can catch anything, even balls in the stands.
He is so fast.
He really is.
He gets to everything. That one was 5 rows out of his reach. The Tigers were shut out in game 2. They've been shut out so far tonight, only 5 hits. The 1-2. Fouled back. Last 2 have been up a little bit. Buster Posey is going to go out and talk to Romo.
Yeah, the last 2 sliders were hittable. He just has such good control against right-handed batters. That slider keeps going away, away, away. It seems never to end. Boomeranging outside almost.
Infante set up at a ball and 2 strikes. 2 hits tonight. The only Tiger with more than 1 hit. That ends it. Giants take a 3-0 lead. And brilliant pitching again here tonight by San Francisco. Vogelsong, Lincecum, and Romo.
It bears repeating, Joe. The Detroit Tigers were shut out twice this year during the regular season of 162 games. They've been shut out 2 games in a row, both 2-0 losses here in the World Series. Unbelievable.
In the National League, you have to go back to the 1919 Reds, who did it to the White Sox, that Black Sox scandal in the World Series, back-to-back shutouts. Last time in World Series play, the 1966 Orioles over the Dodgers.